Cunha, Ruksha. Man, we are back. We are so back. With Amber, 63 games or something. What was we only got one time, we had back-to-back wins. Carrick, first three games, three wins. Arsenal, Man City, Fulham. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. We actually might be back. We might be back. Right? So, Manchester United 3, Fulham 2. Actually, this game was very, back and forth. Manchester United had their moments in the first half, so did Fulham. And same thing, same momentum carried over in the second half. Manchester United had their moments, Fulham had their moments. To be honest, I was still questioning the lineup. He started the likes of he still continued starting Embuemo. I have my doubts where, right? I think this should be a kind of game where Sesko starts, right? Because in a game against Fulham, it's going to be United that has more possession of the ball. But against the likes of Man City or Arsenal, against the big six teams, you would understand why Mbeumo's playing over Sesko because, United holds less possession of the ball. But against the likes of Fulham or something, this is where United holds more possession of the ball. And, even though Sesko, for a player that tall, he has amazing technical ability. And with, link up play, we've seen that under Amram, how crucial he was in link up play, right? So I thought this could be a game Benjamin Sesko starts in, right? But we didn't see that ended up. Eric continued with his 4-3-3 with starting Bueno up top, obviously, uh, and of course Dorgo's out for 10 weeks or something. That's what the report came, and then Cunha started over on the left hand side. One thing that we've noticed in this game was that a lot of players tended to drift off to the right, right? So even Cunha's goal that came off of the right side. So and there's so many right-sided minded players, Cunha and Buemo, Amad Diallo, and Dallo always making the overlapping runs, and Bruno was drifting off to the right, and that just basically opened up the whole left flank for Luke Shaw, right? So it's just too. I think there wasn't enough balance in the front three today. I think with Dorgu, he covered up a lot of the left flank by himself, but that's not the kind of player Mateusz Cunha is. What does Mateusz Cunha do? He tries to take up the central spaces. He tries to drift into the box. He likes to take shots from distance, right? That's the kind of player Mateusz Cunha is, but Dorgo isn't like he's like, let's cover up the left flank. Let's just try to get the ball in the box, just try to cross it in. That's the kind of mindset Dorgu holds, but that's not the same kind of mindset that Mateusz Cunha holds, right? He's like, I want to drift inside. I want to get the goals as many as I can. That's the kind of player Mateusz Cunha is. So we did see a kind of an imbalance in the front three that I saw. But oh my God, Casemiro. What a performance! What a performance! First of all, I didn't watch the full first half, but I rewatched the game. I rewatched the highlights from what I saw. Manchester United, they missed out on a penalty, but then the defender was dragging Cunha out through from outside the box into the box, but he finally wins the ball. But Marco Silva could say whatever he wants. He says he wins the ball back. How can that be a foul? But Cunha was being dragged down by the defender outside the box, so it was obviously a free kick decision that even a 5-year-old could say, yeah, that's a free kick, obviously, because the player was being dragged down, right? So then Bruno Fernandes, man, if you ask any of my friends, they'll tell you how big of a Bruno Fernandes glazer I am. My they just try to they sometimes try to shit talk Bruno just because they can rage bait me and they can get some shit off of me. But no, Bruno is hands down one of my favorite players, right? So what does Bruno do? He just does that little cross into the box perfectly into Casemiro's space, and then Casemiro boink goal. First goal opens up. So one thing that I think everyone talks about Harry Maguire, how he's good off of set pieces, how he's tall, he's big, he can cover a lot of space, his heading abilities, all that insane. But Casemiro has been very central to many of our set piece goals this season. The one against the I think one that comes to my mind right up is against Chelsea, right? So Casemiro has been very integral to our set piece goals, and he showed that yet again today. Why he's one of the best set piece takers, and why he's one of the best set piece scorers in the world, right? So that's one thing I really liked about Casemiro this game, and not just that, he completely dominated the midfield, right? Iwobi coming off of an amazing AFCON run and such. Casemiro just completely dominated the whole game. Not just many people just talk about, yeah, Casemiro's a destroyer. I don't think he's like a player that holds a lot of technical ability. That's all a bunch of BS. Casemiro has so much in his arsenal, right? No pun intended. He holds so much in his arsenal. He can We saw that no look pass that he did. What is that? What does Dallo do? Dallo, he could have made two passes in to mine. I forgot who the players were, Cunha or Bruno. I forgot. Cunha, Bruno, but like, what does Dallo instead do? He gets it back to Casemiro or Manu and then Casemiro. I forgot. But then Casemiro, what does he do? He holds his weight down to the other side. What does that do? He dragged both the defenders out, creating space for Cunha to make the run, and then Cunha perfectly times his run, and then he does the no look pass. That's class. That that is what an experienced player brings into the team. Just technical quality, just assurance. Yes, I'm here. I can do anything that you need, right? And then he just provides the perfect decision. Cunha with a brilliant finish yet again to get another goal. 3 games in a row with um, you know um, a goal or an assist, right? Right. That was just an amazing class finish from Cunha. And Casemiro, not just that, he just completely dominated the midfield today. We felt the presence of Casemiro not being there. We felt Casemiro not being there once he got hooked off. When Casemiro got hooked off, that's when we saw, yeah, they started conceding 2 goals, and he who must not be named got subbed in. And every time that has happened this season, we've almost conceded every single game. I don't know, from what we've seen after Casemiro got subbed off, I think it's been evident throughout the season that Manchester United do need to sign midfielders, but it's become much more evident. Without Casemiro, our midfield just gets completely open, right? It just gets open, wide open, right? That's the problems that we had throughout the season, and we're continuing to see. That's why we're linked to many players, Elliot Anderson, be it Stiller, Wharton, Baleba, whoever it may be. That's the kind of midfield quality Manchester United's going to lack after Casemiro leaves Manchester United this at the end of his contract. So, of course, from what we've seen yesterday, what we've seen throughout the whole season, Manchester United at least need to bring in two quality midfield backups, and hopefully, I'm a big fan of Elliot Anderson because I can see a bit of Casemiro in him. Like, of course, he doesn't have the mentality, he doesn't have the power in the midfield yet, but he's pretty young, and I think he has a lot to offer for Manchester United. Right, he's defensively, he's very competent. Progressive passes. I think he's a similar type of profile as Casemiro. Technically, he's brilliant. Interceptions. I think he ranks first in the Prem, and I think that's the kind of profile that United needs. A guy that's technically stable and also defensively competent enough to just help out the other two defenders if we're running the 4-3-3, right? 4-2-3-1, whatever. So Elliot Anderson seems like the best pick out of the midfielders this season. But there are many rumors of City going in for him. There's so many big clubs trying to get Elliot Anderson. So hopefully Manchester United could get a hand on him. Hopefully they could sign him. But right now he seems like one of the best options to replace Casemiro. And there's so many rumors that Bruno might leave this summer because of the interview that he also dropped. But if Bruno leaves, man, there's the team is just dead. To be honest, like if Bruno's gone, there's the creative source of this team. The quality that Bruno just provides into a midfield, he makes hot take. I think he makes it to any midfield in the world. Like, be it PSG, be it Bayern Munich, be it Real Madrid, be it Barcelona, he makes us every single midfield in this whole world. He's the best attacking midfielder in the world right now, and that's not even a debate. We see that every single game. We see the quality that he holds. Like, he makes he makes the perfect weighted passes to players. He doesn't let his peers work hard as him. What does he do? He does a fake. He goes through Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey. I forgot Bassey. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He fakes Calvin Bassey, and then physically, Calvin Bassey is much more bigger than Bruno Fernandes. But what does he do? Even in that physical battle, he weighs out a perfect pass to Benjamin Sesko for right on his exactly to his right foot, and then boom, Benjamin Sesko finishes at the Stratford end. A dream for any striker, playing for Manchester United. I need to score a last minute winner at the Stratford end in front of the home crowd. That's the kind of dream every striker that plays at Manchester United holds. But the quality that Bruno Fernandes just possesses, like at any situation, you can trust Bruno. He's like, okay, Bruno has the ball. Yeah, he's gonna make the perfect pass to me so that I could score. He has the most chances created in all of Europe this season. Like, I'm not no in Prem this season, most big chances created, and he has the second most assists. He has the most assists in Prem actually this season. I think at 12, on track to beating Henry's and De Bruyne's record of 20 assists a season. And I think it's very much doable, right? How many more? It's 8. He needs 9 more assists to break it. And how many games do we have left? I think around 14 or 15. Yeah, I think it's very much doable for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno can achieve it easily. Yeah, if Bruno Fernandes does end up leaving Manchester United this summer, it's just going to be such a huge miss. Manchester United are going to miss so much quality in their midfield. And if you look at the chance creators all around the world, they're not that many, right? In the Prem right now, Wirtz is creating many chances. Ryan Czech, he's creating a lot of chances. I mean, if you look outside, obviously you're not going to sign Cherky off of City or Wirtz off of Liverpool. I think I did some of my research. I did some stats searching. Like for an attacking midfielder, I saw two names that popped up. Romano Schmidt from Werder Bremen. I think he's 25. I think he created the most chances for an attacking midfielder this season in the Bundesliga, and Ismail Saibari. He played for Morocco in the AFCON, and he plays for PSV. He can play multiple positions. He can play as an 8. He can play as a 6. He can play as a 10. I mean, he's very versatile. I think that's the same thing as Bruno, right? Bruno, when he first came into United, he played as a second striker. He played as an attacking midfielder. This season, he played as a deep line playmaker type role. So I think this Bruno right now, he's playing the best football that he has ever played. He's just showing his versatility, his different phases of his game, different modes of how he can play. Um, I think this is just one of the best seasons Bruno has produced for Manchester United, not just in terms of numbers, but just in terms of quality, how he's backing the team as a leader. I think that's one of the most important aspects Bruno Fernandes has shown this season. And man, he deserves everything. He deserves every single thing. And I don't think it's a debate, but I think Bruno Fernandes might be top 5 or top 4 greatest Premier League attacking midfielders of all time. Like De Bruyne, Lampard, uh, Gerrard, I'm counting him as an 8. I would say Cesc Fabregas. Um, I can't think of any Mesut Ozil and Bruno. Like those are the names that come up to my mind, right? So I would say Bruno is ranked highly, like ranked top 5, the greatest attacking midfielders the Prem has ever seen, right? So yeah, I just think Bruno's is just too so integral. He's just at the heart of Manchester United. Everything goes around him. Players pass it to Bruno, and something happens. Like if Bruno has the ball, something is going to happen in the game. There's going to be some kind of counterattack. He's going to do something. He's going to affect the game in a certain way. We can trust Bruno with that. I think this is how Manchester United has been going every single game. And yeah, defensively, there's still question marks. But with I think there's enough defensive depth for next season. There's Licha. If Maguire leaves, it's fine because Delict, Euro, Heaven, um, probably more. I'm not really. It's not popping up to my mind, but these are quality defenders. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing right. Jeremy Jacket. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but God forbid. But he went for 70 million from Stade Rennais to Liverpool, as Fabrizio Romano reported today. Right? Yeah. So if players of that quality, I think Aiden Heaven seems like a steal. Manchester United got it for 1 million, and the quality that Aiden Heaven just holds is just so good, right? I think Manchester United defensively, they have good depth, right? But I think the reinforcements next season is just to get a backup winger and like a couple of midfielders and assign some fullbacks. Dallo hasn't been too bad this season, right? He's been receiving a lot of criticism, but I think he's been competent enough. against Doku, except the first 15 minutes, he had a really good game. He had a good game against Trossard. He kept Trossard relatively quiet the whole game, and even yesterday, he had a really good game. Right, Dallo. I think he's been giving consistent or sevens out of tens. Right, I think that's good enough, right? But like still, Manchester United need reinforcements in that right back department. You know, they need reinforcements in that left back department as well. I mean, Dorgu, if United do continue playing the same 11 with Sesko starting up top, maybe Mbeumo off the right, starting from next season, right? If they're all of these players are drifting off to the left, I think Dorgu would be a really good option starting at left back and just occupying that whole flank, just running up and down like he has been doing, playing left wing, right? So if this is the starting 11 of Manchester United, and hoping that Sesko gets more chances in big games next season, with Mbeumo starting on the right, Sesko up top, and then Cunha just drifting off to the right or to in central spaces. Dorgo would be perfect as a left back position, just using the left flank up and down. But yeah, I think talking about Manchester United, Fulham, I think it's been a good performance. It was a pretty good performance, and Cunha was just beautiful goal, and then Sesko, man, coming off the bench, as a striker, as a young striker that's playing for Manchester United, and you're not starting for the against the big clubs. He's a big money signing. Let's not forget that he was signed for 80 million, I think 70 or 80 million. And if he's not starting against the big teams, obviously there's going to be a disappointment. Like, I should have played against Liverpool. I should have played against Arsenal. But there is going to be that dissatisfaction. But with the kind of performance that he had yesterday, just scoring that winner at the Stretford end, I think we could see him starting against Spurs. We could see him starting against other. We could see him getting more chances against bigger clubs. So Sesko is personally is one of my favorite players in Manchester United right now, and I hope he gets more chances in the future. I hope he gets more chances under Carrick. So yeah, that's what I thought about the Manchester United Fulham game and how United should move forward. And we have Spurs next. It won't. I don't think it'll be that tough of a game. Spurs haven't been too great this season under Thomas Frank, but they are coming off a draw against Manchester City, so they're probably going to be kind of confident. But I would like to see Sesko start but Ahmad has been having a good string of games, but maybe I want to try out the new signings all like starting up front. Maybe, against a lower level team if Carrick doesn't want to take a risk, but it would be great if we could see a consistent Embuemo, Cunha, and Sesko starting 11 with, Ahmad coming off the bench or Ahmad starting over Embuemo, whatever Carrick has planned for United until the end of the season, right? Just want to see more. Just want to It's been so long since I felt like I want to watch United next week. It's like, oh my god, there's still 5 days left to watch Carrick ball, right? So yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just happy that United are playing the football the way they are, and that I hope they can continue this in the future, right? So saying that, let's wait for the Spurs game. Bye.